Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Thursday, November 30th. It is 6:24 right now. Market's gonna open in about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Looks good. There's a few more things right here. Looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Move that over. Let's get right there. Send right there. Looks like we are good to go. I'll start marking liquidity over here on our clean chart. All right, going down to the 8-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Going down to the 1-hour. Going down to the 30-minute. Let me change the colors here. There, red. This one. Going down to the 15-minute. Going down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, November 30th. It is 6:27 right now. Market's gonna open in about 3 minutes. We got liquidity above over here at 35,739. That's gonna be the first level of liquidity above. And then we have a lower level of liquidity right here, which is probably gonna get hit pre-market, but to mark up for you guys right there, just in case. So we had a couple levels below, right here below at 35,660. That's gonna be the closest level below. It's really close, so it might get hit pre-market, but I mean, who knows? It might just go sideways until then. But we have the first level right there, second level right here, some more levels down below. As you guys can see below, it says the ATR down below here. Now it says the actual ATR. So it's easier for us to see. It's not changing as we kind of move around to different candles. So we got everything marked up right there. Here is the clean chart. I'm going to mark up 6:30, 8 o'clock. Look for some structure over here. Go down to the 1-hour. So we got some structure there, some structure right here. All right. So that's pretty much it for now. So this is the 1-hour resistance level. Support super far down. Let's take a look at that later. All right, guys, it looks like we are good to go for the most part. Some adjustments here, take this off. All right, it's just a lot cleaner now. So I think we had news this morning. Let me check the calendar real quick. We had news over here at 5:30. So news at 5:30, news at 6:45, 7:30. So I had news at 5:30. I'll mark that up first. Probably this weird candle right here, of course. News right there at 5:30. Then we have news at 6:45, 7:30. Quite a bit of news today. I've been doing some testing, like trading based off news, guys, and I kind of found something. So I'll show you guys when the news comes up later. I'm not necessarily going to take it, but I'll show you guys a type of, or I'll just mark an entry for you guys that's going to be based off news. It's like how price reacts to news whenever it does the opposite of what it's supposed to do. And it's super useful, and I've seen it hit from all the testing that I've done. So, all right, guys, market is now open. It's 6:30. Let's see what price ends up going. You know, for example, here I'm looking for the breakout V3 that I typically have been looking at lately. We'll see if we can find it. And we'll just see where this goes. All right, so ATR is currently 10 right now. You guys can see here on the bottom. It's actually a lot easier than we did before. So if you guys can't see that, the ATR is right down here below, and it's always going to show there. It's going to show the current. So if you're moving around, the ATR doesn't move. It just shows down here below. Patricia's asking, how do I get it like that? It's from the trailing stop indicator. So super cool. I just took off the line. So I took off the trailing stop areas here. So I just took them off, and now it shows the ATR down below. You guys will have access to the indicator soon. It's just, I just added that on. So it looks pretty, it's a lot easier to see the ATR, and you're not confused with, you know, sometimes you'll move the candle around and it'll kind of be confused what the actual ATR is. And this way just keeps it on the chart at all times. So you can see whenever it's slow, whenever it's fast, whenever it's kind of consolidating. But I'll definitely try to get it to you guys soon. I'm just, you know, I'm adding little things so I can make it better. And I'm always looking to improve. So, all right, guys. Morning, everybody. Morning, Sir. Morning, Valentine. Morning, Jasmine. Morning, David. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Shen. Morning, Daniel. Vince said, morning, bro. I got a flannel on this time, but it's cold, man. I left my office window open. It's freezing. So I had to wear a flannel. I usually don't wear a jacket because my office is pretty warm, but the office is freezing right now. So had to get this this flannel on today. So, all right, guys, we currently have a buy signal right here. As I mentioned, if there's a following green candle, this will technically be the breakout V3. I'll look at all the breakouts. So I'll try to identify the breakouts. They're not going to be official entries, of course, but I will try to identify it so that you guys can see, you know, where the breakouts will be. But I'm not going to take that specific entry, of course. Currently right now, it's kind of like all over the place. It's rejecting directly off the 1 hour resistance. We've been seeing this a lot lately. So I think it's good that I've marked up the resistance levels on the higher time frames, because this is the same pattern that's been, it's been pretty much coming up every single day as market opens. So rejection right there, as you guys can see, there's no following green candle. So there's no entry here for the breakout V3. So no entry here right now. Retail sentiment is currently 79 short. Thanks, Maddie, for the heads up. So this indicates that 79% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. It's very bullish. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently up. Wow, they're up 192 points. That's crazy. So we're in a super bullish market right now. Looking over here at the technicals, the short term is neutral, long term is bullish. So we do have a bullish bias for today. I'm kind of excited to see the news. So I want to see the news happen right here at 6:45. The news at 6:45 is medium impact news. So basically what I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to look for where the news moves, right? So if it's bearish, right out they're assuming it to be bullish. So if it's bullish and it's green, then I'm going to look for price to kind of pull down a little bit. I think that's why it's coming down right here, because it's going to fake out. So it's manipulating right here. And then eventually it's going to swing back up once news happens here at 6:45. If you guys are looking for the breakout V3, again, same thing here. You're looking for a following red candle. I think it's a little bit risky because of it's just a little too close. And this candle here is huge. I don't think it's in a close red though. As you guys can see, it's not really closing red there. The candle's huge, plus it's getting really close to a news price here at 6:45. But again, right here, another fake out. So I think my main thing that I'm kind of looking for here is going to be news, so that I can show you what I've been kind of working on last night and this morning, just a bunch of testing. All right, so there's still no entry here for anything. Really, the ATR is currently 16 right now. It's currently 15. It's going between 15 and 16, so it's actually moving pretty nice. As you guys can see, the ATR down below. So this is, I mean, this is a good thing. So let's see, the V1 variation is currently running right now, actually. I'm not in this position, of course. I don't take the V1 variations by themselves, but you can see there's a lot of inconsistency with the direction of price. It is currently running. I think it's in a risky area right now because everything's so bullish. I'd probably be very careful taking sells. I know we currently have a bearish trend, but sorry, I meant not V1, I meant liquidity. There's liquidity running right here, not a V1. But I would be careful taking any sells here, guys, because of the current vol. Well, first of all, the overall bias, it's super bullish right now. And you know, I'm expecting the fake out here. So I'm expecting price to be bullish eventually. It might not happen right now, but I do expect price to be bullish eventually. You can see price is actually starting to create a range. So let's go back over here. Let me just take this off real quick so there's no confusion there. But anyways, there is a range right now that's getting set up here on the clean chart between the 1 hour resistance and the lower support here. So we got that. ATR is currently 16, so the ATR is actually really good right now. There's no confirmation of, well, I mean, there's a bearish trend, but there's no confirmation of a bullish trend yet. Again, if this buy signal closes, you'll probably want to look for another green candle. That green candle is probably going to signify a direction of price. Let's see how far could price maybe go. Yeah, I can probably push up higher. We got news coming up in about 13 minutes, guys. Or 8 minutes, actually. We got news coming up in 8 minutes. So might want to be a little careful if you guys do decide to take any entries right here. So if you get a green candle that closes right here, then odds are price is probably going to climb up a little bit. But you guys can see right here that there's not really much of a direction. It's currently stuck in the resistance level again. So I'm not really expecting this to close green. I mean, it might close green, but it might close like at the last second. We have about 15 seconds left on this candle. It's currently red. Yeah, I think it might be, and it's not going to close green. It's just a back and forth movement. Price is pretty much ranging between the 1 hour resistance right here and the 1 minute support. Or if you want to consider it the 1 minute lower low, you guys can do that too. But it's pretty much just ranging between this area. I think price will pretty much range until the until news. News happens at 6:45. It's going to be medium impact news. And we'll see. There's no breakout B2s. There's no momentum counter scalps. There's nothing coming up right now for these breakout type entries. The ATR is looking good though. So as you guys can see, the ATR is currently 17. So it's actually pretty high right now, which is what we're looking for. The only thing here though that we might be a little concerned with would be news. Looks like there might be a momentum counter scalp setting up right here for a sell. Again, I think the sells here are going to be a little risky. I mean, we'll see if it plays through. So the momentum counter scalp is actually running right now. right here. I wouldn't recommend taking it, but there is an entry that is currently running. It's currently in profit. You guys can see there's a buy signal, 2 red candles right here. And there you go, its price starts climbing down to its TP. But again, it's too close to news, and then the bias is just too strong for a buy, so I'd be careful for taking any sells here. I'm personally looking for a buy. I'm gonna see how price kind of climbs back up. I want to see how the news comes up though. Obviously, I want news to be positive. And then once it's positive, I'll look for something here. Oh, gotcha. So Randy said there was already a momentum counter scalp at 636. Let's see, 636, which was, oh, you're right. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, Randy actually was right about that. So there's a sell signal right here, 2 green candles, and the momentum counter scalp came up right there. I totally missed that one. I would have taken that one too. Yeah. So there was a momentum counter scalp that came up right here, guys. Thanks, Randy, for correcting me. We've had a pretty volatile market for the past couple days lately, if you guys have noticed, which is good because volatile markets are good for us. That's what we want. So the momentum counter scalp actually came up off this green candle. There was a sell signal right here, 2 green candles. The buy entry came up right there, and it was a full TP with no drawdown. I didn't even see that. But yeah, that's pretty solid. I would have taken it if I saw it. So you guys can see, sometimes the market's moving too quickly. I can't even see things sometimes, and I'm actually looking for it. So we have nothing else over here right now. We have news coming up in about 5 minutes. Price is climbing up. This could be the original breakout. Yeah, so this might be the original breakout right here. But again, I wouldn't take it because news is coming up right here at 645. But this is the original breakout. We have a buy signal right here. This is a strong green candle. So technically this would be the original breakout. I forget what TP stop loss we would use, but I think it was like 25-25, or it'd be a 30-30 or 50-50, depending on market conditions. Right now, the ATR is currently at 18, so I'd probably do a 25-25. I think 30-30 is a little too far out. But again, this would be like basically the original breakout. Buy signal, you look for a strong green candle, that'd be breakout, the original one. For breakout V2, you're looking for 2 green candles, so this might be a confluence. If you get 2 green candles right here, it's going to set up for the breakout V2. And then for the breakout V3, you would need a momentum signal and then a following green candle after it. But I'm not going to take this, obviously. It's too close to news. It's 641 right now, and it's rejecting directly off the news price right here. I just wanted to show you guys like what an example of a V1 would be. Actually, I don't know if it'd be a sorry, I keep calling it a V1 for a break. Well, it is a V1, original breakout. The thing with this here is that it's at a red flag. So I haven't applied the original breakout in, I can't remember the last time I applied the original breakout. Let's see the spreadsheet over here. Did I apply it? So the last time I applied the breakout, the original one, was right here in January. So January 5th of this year is the last time I applied the breakout. It was actually a 500-500. Yeah, breakout happened right there. So I guess the breakout technically could have happened right here at the 631 candle. It'd be pretty much at the same entry point. So you're basically looking for momentum and a strong candle in that direction. All right, guys, we have news coming up right here. I'll kind of try to walk you guys through what I'm looking for here. The main thing I'd be looking for, because there's no sessions here, is I would look for a V1 variation, and then I would look for that, or I'd look for price and break sessions. So here's a couple things that I'll be looking for. So we currently have news coming up right here at 645. I would look for price to go opposite of news. So if news is bullish, I'm gonna look for price to come down a little bit, break below the sessions, and then come back up. Once it comes back up, I would expect price to be a buy right here. And then I'd ride this all the way up for like 500 pips. The other thing that I would do is I would look for price to come in the opposite direction, and then I would look for a V1 variation to set up. So if we get that V1 variation to set up, then that could be another opportunity to get in the direction of news. So nice. Gian caught the momentum counter scalp, so that looks good. Andreas said there's a gap in his MC5. Yeah, there's a gap in my MC4 as well. Andreas, looks like there's a data gap right there. All right, we got news coming up shortly. They're forecasting it to be positive. So we'll see, obviously what happens there. This is going to be conflicting though. So you might want to be careful if you guys do decide to take this entry. You might want to get in and out a lot quicker because we have more news coming up at 7 o'clock, which can be opposite of the 6:45 news. Right. So let's see what happens. ATR is currently 18 right now. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, the ATR is actually really good today. It's really good. A lot of volatility. Prices going back and forth. You can see prices still ranging between the 1 hour resistance and the 1 minute support though. So we'll see. All right, guys, we have a news candle right here. Let's check the news real quick. Refresh that. It was positive. Okay, great. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a V1 variation to the upside, right? If you guys see a V1 variation to the upside, I'm expecting a pretty nice correction to happen. I don't think we're going to get one anytime soon because we don't have a low here. We need a high first. We currently have a low. We need to establish a high. And then when you establish a low down here, it's probably going to correct back up. So if you guys are looking to take this trade here, the smallest I'd probably go for would be 300. Otherwise, you could probably go even higher because I'm expecting price to come back to this area here or higher. So keep a lookout for that V1 variation from the bottom side. And I think that will probably set up for a correction back up because the news here is positive. So I've been testing the strategy. I went back pretty much a couple months back to see how, price reacted to the news here. And it typically does correct back up. The only problem here that you want to be careful for, okay, so here's the setup. This might be a V1 variation right here. If this closes, and I think this is going to push back to the upside. The only thing that you want to be careful for here, again, like I mentioned, is the news at 7 o'clock. So you might want to be in and out, very quickly. If you guys are looking to take this here. But again, this is like a speculative trade. It's just something that I kind of looked over last night. And I think it's something that kind of plays through a lot of the times. If you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. If you don't want to take it, you don't need to take it. This is all speculation. And it's all going to be a bit of a tricky entry here. So we'll see where this ends up going from here. I think 300 should be fine. And I do think the correction is probably going to happen eventually. It might not happen right away, but it's probably going to happen eventually. The only problem here is that we do have news over here at 7 o'clock. So you might need to get out of this position earlier than later, because once news happened at 7, this could be negative, which is, it's forecasted to be negative right here. And this can easily go the opposite direction. So you can probably look for the same thing, but in the opposite direction. Let's see. So I'm hoping this pushes up, and then once this pushes up before 7, we can start looking for something in the opposite direction, of course. So see this here as price pushes through. I hope a buy signal comes up and then another following green candle, and then it'll probably continue. It's like a good confluence of a continuation to the upside. Looks like Kevin here caught it for a partial. Vince caught it for a partial. Maddie caught it for a partial. Oscar caught it for a partial. Yeah, because there's more news coming up over here at 7:15. I think it's 7:15, right? Yeah, it's kind of tricky when there's more news that happens after it, because there's no telling, what's going to happen from that news, because the news is forecasted to be pretty negative. Month over month supposed to be negative too, which is normal for the winter season, and then also pending home sales right here as well, because the winter season is always pretty slow for the most part. Nick got it. Nice. Looks like pretty much majority of people here got it. or they got out already. Yeah, it's just a little tricky here because there's too much news that's kind of bunched up. From the testing that I've done, there's only usually been like one news event that comes up. So it typically just keeps going in that direction. But yeah, it's just a little tricky. It's just a little tricky because there's news falling back to back and they're supposed to be opposite for the most part. Let's see, 6:49. So we got news coming up again in about, let's see, 25 minutes. I think the key thing here to look for would be like a buy signal, and then a follow-up green candle. And then if we get that, it's probably gonna push up even higher. It's probably gonna go like straight up. See where it's at. I'm pulled out of it. I got out of it, guys. I wanted to hold on to it, but you can see right here, price is having trouble getting past this this news price right here. The news price where it was at earlier, and it's already like right at it. So like typically what I wanted to happen here is I wanted price to come off. Fuck, there it goes. Yeah, I pulled out too early. It's all good. I knew this was gonna play out because I did so much testing on this. This is why I was late on getting on the live session this morning, because I was like, man, this looks really good. I want to show it to you guys. And it's playing out perfect. I chickened out. I should have held on to it, but it's all good. Yeah, that would have been nice. I would have made 6,000 off that trade. I just made 2,000. It's all good. But yeah, so you guys can see whenever I find something in the market, I always share with you guys. I'm not here to hide anything from you guys, and this is pretty good. So now we can trade based off news. I kind of figured this out. The funny thing is, like, sometimes I'll get like and there goes the V3. Yeah, the V3 that's setting up as well. That Camo just mentioned. And this is what I was looking for. So I was looking for a buy signal followed by a green candle so that we can get that full push. But yeah, I was like, I forgot what I was doing. Oh, I was on Instagram yesterday and I saw, like, you get advertisement from like different traders and stuff. There's this guy who only trades fundamentals. And then he kind of explained what he was doing. And I was like, oh, I know how to do that. But use it with our strategies here. So basically what I was looking for is I wanted price to pull back a little further, give us the V1 right here. And then from that V1, write it back up to news price where it's supposed to be, right? And that's kind of what happened here, but we just got in like a lot earlier because the V1 happened like right here. It didn't happen like super far down. So with news, we'll look again at 7 o'clock. We'll see if there's another one that comes up. There probably will be. But yeah, it's another good strategy to add to our basically our arsenal, because there's a lot of different opportunities that can play out from news here. So again, I'm glad that there's another high impact news event coming up here at 7 o'clock, or not high impact, medium impact, because then right here, we can do the same thing. So the trick with this is that they have to be the same. It can't be green and red. It's got to be both green, or it has to be both red. If it's green and red, then you don't know where price is going. But if it's both green or it's both red, we can kind of follow it and see if there's anything else that we can, possibly pull from that. So, all right, other than that, and then another entry right here for the breakout V3, or I guess the breakout V3 or the breakout continuation, whatever you want to consider it. So Camo, I'm not sure if you caught that there, but this is the entry that you're typically looking for. Dang, the market's really good right now. So this is kind of what we've been waiting for. This is the type of market that we want to be trading in. We want to be trading in a very volatile market. I missed the trade there because I thought price was going to be a bit overextended. But if you guys remember earlier, I mentioned you guys can go between 300 and 500. If you wanted to go for a bigger push for 500, you could have went for the full 500 right there. And this is trading based off the news. So, like I mentioned before, guys, whenever I see something that works in the market, I'll introduce it to you guys because it's pretty simple. Like I see these things in the market, I'm like, okay, we could try this in the next session. And then also it goes in conjunction with our other strategies like the V1 variation or a break in structure. And there's just a lot of different opportunities here. We have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock, guys. So I'm probably going to sit out of the market for a little bit. The ATR is currently 19 right now. So it's really, really good compared to what we're used to. We're used to having it below 15, which is pretty slow. And you can see over here, it's at 19. So we're having pretty good volatility. I'm hoping the market will stay like this eventually. I'm pretty excited for like next year. I think for the rest of this year, it's probably going to be hit or miss. It's either going to be volatile or it's going to be slow. But I think when we start off the trading year next year, just like we did this year in January, we did pretty good. So if you look at our results from January of this year, we had 23 wins, 3 losses, total profit of 6,950 pips, win-loss ratio of 88%. We had some pretty big trades in January. So December of this year, I don't know if it's going to continue to be volatile or if it's going to go back to a sideways market. But I think in January for sure, and we have all these strategies to look at. We have the breakout 1, 2, and 3. We have the high-low scalp 1 and 2. We have this new strategy that I just kind of came up with. And they all kind of go hand in hand with our trading. So like they all kind of complement each other versus going against each other. So yeah, I'm hoping the market stays volatile and we can continue looking for some more entries here. So nice work, guys, for everyone catching these entries here. Craig, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Yeah, pretty good profits. If you guys have profits to post up, feel free to send them in. It's 6:55 right now, so we have about 5 minutes till news. I probably would sit out until then. Andrew said this push is crazy. Yeah, I know. But the push went in the direction that we were waiting for, right? So if you guys remember earlier, we mentioned, price was going to be bullish. It was going to probably fake out to the bottom and then swing back up because we did have news over here, which we were already forecasting it to be positive. And then on top of that, we had retail sentiment 79% short. So I think price will continue climbing. I don't think it's done climbing yet. It's 80% now. So a lot of people are trying to catch the top, which I don't think the top is going to happen unless the news over here is negative. So if the news here comes up negative, it's forecasted to be negative. If it's negative on both, then I do expect price to come down at least a little bit. So we might get manipulation up, then a drop down, or we might get manipulation down and a push up, depending on what this news will be. But it's forecasted to be negative. I think it's going to be negative, so I think it's going to do that. What's going to happen here is I think price will push up here and be manipulated to the upside. News will come up at 7 right here. And then as it continues pushing up, once you get that V1 variation up here, it's going to come crashing right back down. Right? So just take a look at that. Not really a V1 variation, but more of a V1 pattern, because the V1 variation would have to be in the direction of the bias. The bias is actually bullish, so we'll see. But we'll check what news is looking like in a bit. Nice work, Andreas, over here. Total profit of 940 for the day. Great work, Andreas. Looks like you had a little accident there. First. Oh, this wasn't even from today. So Andreas took a gold trade. Looks like earlier this morning, had a small loss. It's okay. Looks like he was trying to get out at break even. And then he took the trade this morning and won on this here. So this is Andreas' profits. Going over here, we have Craig, total profit of 2,420. Looks like he really cashed out on that news move that I identified for you guys. And in his second account over here, locked in a total profit of 2,370. Looks like he locked in about 200 pips there. And then here's his third account, total profit of 683. So nice work right there, Craig, with all of these profits across 3 of his accounts. We have Barack here. Dang, Barack over here took a loss. I don't know what Barack was taking, but he took a loss there. So it's all good. Barack, he'll bounce back from it. But it looks like everybody else here took some wins. Valentine over here locked in 2,127. All wins there. Nice work, Valentine. And I think that's it for right now. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. What I'll do here is I'll take a screenshot of this. And I guess we could start documenting these trades too. So the news happened, I forgot at what time, 6:45. And we went for 300. So I'll go and just document this because I have profits for it. So obviously the trades that I personally take, we'll document them so that we have, something here. So full TP on the speculative news trade. I'll just call it news V1 variation. And we'll look at this one, see if there's another one. Andrew said momentum news tonight. I mean, yeah, we'll have to come up with a name at some point. We got so many strategies here that I gotta get a little more creative with the names, but also keep it simple. We have news right here at 7 o'clock, guys. We'll see what happens there. Let me take a screenshot of my profits real quick before we continue on. Man, for some reason, my funded engineer is still not copying, which is super annoying. I got to figure out a way to get that to work. I don't know if the lot sizing is different or what, but I got to get that figured out. Because it's not taking any trades, and I'm kind of missing out on profits that I should be having. All right, we got the news count, or we got the news right here. Let's check news real quick. News was positive for the first one. We'll see if it's positive for the next one. Okay, so the trades actually did execute on my funded engineer, but it was kind of weird. I gotta build up the lot size on that. I think the leverage has changed on funded engineer, which sucks. All right, let me check news real quick. Has it updated? We don't have the second one yet. That's key. We gotta wait for that. All right, we don't have the news event yet. Let's see. Patricia said 130 now happened to me too. What happened, Patricia? So I'm looking for, okay, it's positive. There we go. So let's go back over here again real quick. Okay, so news is positive. I'm hoping price comes down kind of heavy. And then you look for that V1 variation again, and then look for the correction back up. So we got no V1s here. News price is right there. Again, probably go for a 300 if you're looking to take that there. There's no V1 there, so if price ends up pushing up without the V1, obviously I'm not going to take a trade, but we'll continue looking. But the news is actually surprisingly positive here. So pending home sales was positive. Pending home sales year over year was also positive. Yeah, let this come down a little bit. I want it to come down. Give me that V1 and then correction back to the upside. Another entry right here, camo for your breakout continuation, full TP, sell signal, falling red candle, continuation to the downside. I wouldn't have taken that trade because it's like so close to news, but if you guys are looking to take it, it played out right there. This might be a V1 variation right here, guys. If it closes green, I don't know if it's going to. Yeah, so the V1 variation is actually going to close right there. If anybody's looking to take that as a correction back up. It's got about like 5 seconds left on it. It's kind of a tricky candle though. So yeah, I mean, that's probably the V1 variation right there. I'm probably gonna hold off on it for a little bit. See how it kind of climbs around. I think it'll correct back up to that point. So I think again, like same thing that we looked for over here, guys, maybe a buy signal and a following green candle. If you have that, it's probably going to correct right back up. The little problem with this here is that this thing might correct, or it might kind of pull back a little further because this lower low can still get pushed down lower. If you guys are looking to take the entry, you actually set up like right there. And here are my profits so far across my account. So for that last trade right there, here are my profits. So for my fund engineer, I locked in 25. For my FTMO, locked in 570. My second FTMO locked in 2,240. My third FTMO locked in 1,140. My funded engineer number 2 locked in 22. My personal account locked in 180. My TFF locked in 464. Second FTMO 464 and sorry, TFF. And then this is my other personal account 464 as well. Looking at this trade here, guys, you might want to make it a little wider. If you guys are looking to take it, I probably would go for 40-40 actually, because of the so typically when I see these identifications of entries, I look for price to kind of fill this gap here that came down, right? So I mean, if it was a lot smaller like this one over here, this one was 30-30 because the gap from earlier wasn't that wide, but this one over here is actually a lot wider, so you can actually go for a farther move. So I think a 40-40 would be better here because it gives you that safety net to kind of protect your entry in case, you know, price does continue to linger lower. So I mean, it's just up to your guys' preference. If you guys are looking to take this news entry again, these entries will typically be like a 1-to-1, so it's going to be easier for you to kind of like protect your position if necessary. But I do think price will probably continue climbing up. You kind of just want to look for that buy signal. So I'm trying to get in later. I'm not in the position yet. I'm looking to put my buy stop right there so that when it does climb back up, it can just fill my order and then just go straight up. Kind of like what happened here. I'm looking for that buy signal to come up, followed by the green candle. And there we go. As price comes up. See if it's actually filled mine. All right. So it did fill my order here, but it's kind of like I got caught in some slippage. So I'm going to have to watch it. I think I'm probably gonna move my TP to like the news price right here. Let's see if I can drag this down a little bit. Because my entry kind of sucked. Moved up too fast. That's the problem that I kind of don't like about pending orders, is because sometimes it'll just, you get caught in slippage and your entry kind of sucks. So we'll see. All right, so this is a 40-40. I mean, depending on what you guys are looking for, you guys can go for 40-40 if you want to go for 30-30. I think my exit area would probably be like right here, because I got in at a crappy entry point. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. But anyways, yeah, the entry would be right there, or the exit would, if you want to go for 40, it'd be right there. If you want to go for 30, it'd be right there. If you want to get out earlier, like right at news price right there. But looking at the current, I'm just looking for that buy signal. You know, once the buy signal comes up, I think you'll have a better confirmation of like direction. But looking at retail sentiment, it's just kind of tricky because the sentiment's so high. It's currently 81% short. So there's a lot of retail traders on the sell side. This is going to cause a lot of manipulation. I typically don't like it super heavy like this. I like it like around 65, 70 because it's kind of, it gives it a middle ground for price to move. When you have it like at 80, it's kind of too one-sided, right? So it's not necessarily going to be super easy because a lot of other people look for the same thing we're looking for here, where we try to trade opposite of retail. And it's just tricky. It's, you know, it's a tricky area and it's a tricky move for price to just go straight up. Fundamentals are currently up 200 points, so they're up super high. That's another tricky thing too, because if everything's on one-sided, right? If everybody's looking for buys here, it's not going to be a smooth move to the upside. So again, right here, price is kind of just bouncing around. There's no buy signal yet, but that's kind of what we're looking for. We're looking for that buy signal to confirm the direction of momentum, and then you're looking for a following green candle to confirm the confirmation of that direction as well. Price is currently, so it faked out over here above the 1 hour resistance, and then it's coming back down right here. So it's a little bit of a tricky area as price continues to bounce back and forth. Yeah, it's just going back and forth right now. There's not really much direction. The ATR is currently 17, so it kind of slowed down a bit. Earlier, the ATR was like 19, 20, currently 17. It's still above 15, so it's still looking good. Let me see the other news event over here. I think there's another news event at 7:30, I believe. It's low impact. It's just gas stocks. So gas stocks over here at 7:30, this isn't going to be able to be useful. The analysis that I was using again, guys, from prior, For some reason, the news here is like not loaded again. I don't know what happened with this right here. But so for the news type entry, I think the main thing that we'd be looking at would just be medium and high impact news. The low impact news events don't really matter too much because they're not going to affect the market or direction. Main thing to look for here would just be the medium to high impact news events. Let's go back over here. It's not really much for us to look at here. We currently have a bullish trend. So if we're looking for some high-low scalps, this would be the first level. This would be the next level. Yeah, there's not really much here. There was a high-low scalp that came up right here at 651 that came up a lot earlier. But other than that, there's not really too much going on here. The volatility is actually getting a lot slower. So you can see over here down below, the ATR is currently at 16. So it's getting a lot slower than it was earlier. We have this setting up again for another V1 pattern. So you can see a double body setting up right there. And hopefully this will be the pattern that we're waiting for so that it actually swings, all the way back up. So we'll see where this ends up going from here. But again, it's just going to be a matter of time until we kind of have that confirmation. The 400 add to that green candle. Got about 17 seconds. The volatility is kind of dying down a bit. It's dying down a lot, actually. So no V1 pattern right there. This market is starting to suck. It was looking great earlier. So like from earlier down here, the market was looking good and we had some volatility. It looks like price is now just starting to go sideways, which is not exactly what we're looking for. If you're looking for some high-low scalps, closest level for a high-low scalp would be right here. I personally wouldn't take it as original high-low scalp because, obvious for the regular high-low scalp, I typically like to take them at higher highs. For a high-low scalp V2, you can use this level right here if you guys are looking to take that. So if you guys are familiar with the high-low scalp V2, one of the strategies that we typically look for, you look for price to break above it, fake out, come back up, and shoot to your TP. So, all right, price is now climbing back up, but it looks like price is just in a range. So if you guys see this right here, I mean, it looks like price is climbing, but realistically, it looks like price is really just in a range right here. Going sideways, which isn't what we're looking for. We want price to actually break out. So price is pushing up right here. It might be setting up for a high-low scalp V2. And then I'll also be looking for this here to climb up higher from where it's currently at. Let me see. I'm not really I'm gonna close out of this position. So I close out of my news position, guys. I just don't feel comfortable with it. It's not moving as smooth as I like. And it feels like price is going to be stuck in this range right here. So the news entry is still technically running right now. I just pulled out of it in profit. So I got out at like maybe 100 pips or so. Yeah. It just didn't look good to me personally. So, and I don't want to hold on to it. Because typically for these news entries, you want it to just go straight through, right? And for right here, it's going into a range. And like I was mentioning earlier, you don't want to be trading in a range like this. So I got out with like $1,000. Let me see what I got. I got out at 1,280, which is completely fine with me. I'm happy with $1,000 than having to risk it because price did get pretty close down here. And then it just got a little tricky. So yeah, exactly. Andreas said it became rangy. So he sat on this. Yeah, probably a good decision there. Typically there's like one big news event that happens for the day, and that's usually the one that you want to take. So like that's the one that happened right here and then went straight through. So again, right here, if you guys are looking for this to play through, this is a 30-30. I'd probably make it smaller because the ATR here is getting smaller. If the ATR was higher and there's some volatility in direction of price, then I would probably go for the 40-40. But again, the TP stop loss for this type of entry would probably be between 300 and 500, depending on how much correction needs to happen. So for example, here, if price pulled up, if it dropped super low right here, and then it came back up, then at this point, I would probably go for like 500, 500, right? Because you have such a big range right there for price to go back up. So if this was a case down here, then for sure I'd go for 500, 500 because it's probably going to correct back up to that point. But since this happened right here, I mean, technically you could still go for 500, 500, but it would be past this area right here where structure sits. So there's a lot of different ways to apply this. I think this is going to be probably one of our staples as well. It's going to be kind of a hectic strategy though, because it's not one of those strategies that we have control over, over like direction of price, because it happens based off news. And, you know, the fixed TP stop loss isn't always going to be the same. So the trade is still running right here in profit. It's probably going to hit full TP. If I held on to it, my exit was actually going to be here at the pink line, but I wasn't going to risk it. I just didn't like how price was moving. So, and again, right here, I still don't like how price is moving. If you guys are still in this position, I would probably recommend pulling out. But if you guys are okay with your risk, you know, feel free to hold on to it. For me personally, I took a full lot size, 200 lots, so I was not going to hold on to it. I had to make a decision right then and there whether I wanted to pull or whether I wanted to hold. And I decided to pull because price is going sideways and it's currently within this range here. Let me see, I'll mark up more structure. So, you know, you just have to go with your gut sometimes. There's structure right here on both of these. And you can see that price is kind of stuck now. It's not moving how it was before. You guys can see the ATR down below is at 16. So it's moving between these two structures right here. So it's just a little too tricky if you guys are looking to take certain trades at this point. I was pretty happy with my profits. Once I hit 1,000 profit, I'm like, okay, this is probably it for me. Because the last thing I want to do is put my trade at chance, right? At this time right now, if you're in the position, you're kind of putting your trade at chance because one of two things will happen. Price will either break above and continue climbing, or, you know, the opposite will happen and price will just continue ranging right here and maybe even come down lower. And then you're going to put yourself at risk. You know, when the market's moving like this and you don't have any certainty, I would prefer to just pull out and get out of that trade. You know, I don't need to get, I'm cool with like, with 1,000 profit. I could have went for 6,000 if I held on to the position, but of course, it's not the time to get greedy, especially because the ATR is down below. So look down below, guys. ATR is currently at 15 now. I like this ATR a lot better because this ATR shows you the exact number. It's not like at 14, 15. It's like at 15.9. So you're like, okay, it's getting closer to 16. So it's probably going to pick back up. So this here is pretty solid. Let's see. Barack said today, it almost feels like my buy sell buttons are rigged the opposite way. Oh man. I know, Brock, it's weird because you have a pretty heavy losing day today. You never like usually your profits are usually like 14, like you're super deep in profit. But Barack over here is he's negative today. I mean, it's all good, Barack. You're just having a bad day. I don't know how you lost these trades though, because it was so easy to take buys. That's where we took our buys. I don't know how you lost the trade. Your stop losses might have been too close, but everything else was, I mean, it was good for us. So we got Maddie over here. Let's see, Camo over here locked in a total profit of 1,180. I swear, Camo. You know, I think if you just stick to those entries, Camo, you'll be funded like by like next week because you're having like one good entry a day. It's pretty solid. Like you're doing pretty good, and your consistency is on there. So if you just stick to those entries, like maybe once or twice a day, you'll lock in about 1,000 or to 2,000, and you'll reach your 10,000 within like the next couple of weeks. So I think that's your strategy, Cam. Once you stick to that strategy, and you'll be solid. You'll be funded pretty soon. Maddie over here locked in 200 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. And then his Apex account locked in 188. Solid work right there, Maddie. We got Gian here, total profit of 1,009. Nice work, Gian. We got Lila over here, total profit of 2,480. Nice work, Lila. Great profits for the day. We got Vince over here, killing it with the V1s. Total profit of 330 for the day. Nice work, Vince. We got Cam over here, 1 loss, 2 wins, total profit of 2,065. Nice work, Cameron. And we got Maddie over here, some more profits, total profit of 400. Nice work, Maddie. You know, I don't know what's up with like the with Apex, Maddie, but I've seen a lot of people pass Apex that I don't know. Like, like I've seen so many. Is Apex that easy to pass? I'm really curious because I see a lot of people pass Apex that like they don't know how to trade, but they're passing Apex. So I'm kind of, oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, because Maddie said it's because they're over leveraging and then they blow it. Yeah. So I guess it's easy to pass with Apex if you get lucky and you like over leverage and you pass within a couple of trades, but then you blow it once you get funded. Because I've been seeing a lot of people on social media that have been like everybody has like a ton of Apex accounts, and I'm like curious. I'm like, if it's that easy, maybe I should open an Apex account because there's people that are passing Apex and they like not to hate on people, but they suck at trading. Like they're not consistent at all. So I guess yeah, they're just getting lucky. All right, makes sense, Maddie. I mean, it's okay to suck at trading, but you know, if you don't get better at like finding consistency, you're just gonna keep you're gonna get funded and you're gonna blow account and you're gonna keep doing it over and over again. Rashida over here locked in total profit of 475. Nice work, Rashida. And then on our top step, she locked in 958. Nice work, guys. You guys are killing it today. Everybody's locking in some pretty good profit. If you guys have more profit to send in, feel free to send them in. Here goes the news entry right here, full TP again right there. I wish I would have held on to it, but it's okay. I didn't want to I don't want to risk it. So, you know, I think this will be a favorite for a lot of you guys because a lot of times we're usually sitting out during news. But I think now that we have this setup here, I've actually tested the strategy like a month back and there hasn't been any losses. So, yeah, nice work right there, guys. I'll continue to identify those entries. I think that's going to be one of the things we'll be looking at. It'll be helpful because it's you know, it's a type of strategy that kind of gives us something to do when news is happening. So I think it'll be cool. Anyways, there goes my profit so far for the day. Looking over here, we had so there's currently a high-low scalp V2 that's currently running right now. It's currently running in profit. But again, it's kind of tricky right now because you guys can see prices in this heavy range. So I probably would not want to, I mean, I'm not going to get into this trade, of course, but if I get a buy signal and it's followed by a green candle, I'll probably take that for 100 pips. I'll just use it as confluence for this high-low scalp V2. So I had to fix my lot size for funded engineer. ATR is back to 14, guys, so it's pretty low, as you guys can see down here. I really like this new ATR. I don't know if you guys like it too, but I like it because it's pretty accurate. I don't have to look down here and kind of be confused what the ATR currently is. I just look down and it's right there. Right here, guys. For you guys who don't know what I'm looking at. But it's pretty accurate and it adjusts with price. So like it's not necessarily just staying at like 14 or staying at 15. It's kind of going back and forth. So you know exactly where the ATR is. Right now it's at 14.2. So it's kind of slow right now. It's probably gonna slow down a bit more. And we'll continue following. There's an entry here, as I mentioned, for the high-low scalp V2. The ATR is too low for a momentum pullback scalp, so there's no momentum pullback scalps, but it looks like there were some entries over here that you know, may have came up at some point. Yeah, Maddie said there was an entry for momentum pullback scalp at 719. Let's see. I think that was too close, Maddie, because the entry would have been below the momentum signal right here. So it'd be a little too close. Or actually, you're right, 719. My bad. It is running right now. It's running, but the ATR is too low, so I wouldn't have taken it. I think that's a good thing about the ATR down here too, is because once it gets closer to like 15, you can kind of maybe take it even though it's below 15. Like if it's like 14.9 or 14.8, you're like, all right, I can still take the trade. And that's probably where it was earlier. It was at 14 point, probably like 14.4 or something like that. So it probably was like perfectly lined up for entry right there. So if you guys did take that momentum pullback scalp, it played right through full TP. There's a lot of entries. I really like the market now. So right now, typically this is how the market's supposed to be. So if the market's like this every day, you guys can see there's a lot of opportunities that can show up. There's momentum pullback scalps, there's breakouts, there's news entries. There's high-low scalps. There's a ton of entries that come up. And this is a type of market that we thrive in. During these types of markets, we'll be able to make a ton of profit every single day. I did pretty good today too, because I took 2 of those news entries. And I mean, it's pretty solid. So the high-low scalp V2 is still running in profit, guys, right here, as it continues to climb up. It's not there yet, but it's almost there. But you can see over here on the clean chart, this is where it becomes a little tricky, because you guys can see how it gets a little bit messy at this point, right? So this is the actual range right here. So you can see how price kind of pulls down, fakes out around this area, and it pulls back into the range. There goes the liquidity from earlier today, guys. If you guys took it, full TP. Yeah, there's a lot of entries that came up today. We had liquidity. We have the high-low scalp V2. We had 2 news entries. We had the breakout V2, the momentum counter scalp. I think there was like about 7 entries that came up today. They all hit full TP. The ATR is super low though. You can see it's currently at 13. So it's pretty risky right now to take any entries. Let me take some screenshots of my profits. It's currently 7:30 right now too. Time flew by today. It's crazy how fast the time flew by. But yeah, it's currently about to be 7:30. Ross is asking, how did you get the new ATR? The new ATR is the new indicator, Ross. It's the trailing stop indicator. So as I mentioned, I'm still working on things, so I'm adding things to it. This is one of the additions that I added to it. So hopefully I'll have that indicator to you guys. It's probably not going to be ready by the end of the week, maybe by next week, because I just keep getting ideas, right? So that indicator that you're looking at the bottom, the ATR, it's actually the trailing stop indicator. So I just took off the trailing stop lines. So it just doesn't have lines on there. And then you can decide where you want to have, you can decide where you want the ATR. So as you can see from below, the ATR is at the bottom, and then you can have it to the right if you want, like down there, or if you want it at the top, you can have it at the top. It's just up to preference. I'm just making changes here so that I can make it as customizable as possible. I like it at the bottom though. I think the bottom's fine. And hopefully I can get that indicator out to you guys by next week. I'm always looking for ways to optimize our trading. And I think ATR here is a big game changer, because you can see exactly how volatility is moving in the market. Let's see. Yeah, I think Brock was doing his own trades. It's all good, Brock. Sometimes you just don't have like good days. It's just how the market is, right? You can't always be winning. Like for me yesterday, I took a loss. Like yesterday was my first losing day, and like I don't remember the last time I had a losing day. Because the last time we had a loss, we actually had a win, so it kind of balanced out to break even. But yesterday I was down like 100 pips. So it's all good, Brock. I mean, Brock was probably doing his own thing, because if he took the entries that we took here, it would have just been all wins for the most part, because we didn't really get to those points. The high-low scalp V2 is currently running right now, guys, but the ATR is very low. It's currently 13. So I don't really recommend taking it. Of course, I'm not in this position, so it's not going to count towards any of our official entries. Again, the thing you want to look for here would probably be a buy signal. So we actually would want a sell signal here to close. Once the sell signal closes, we'll look for a buy signal and then a follow-up green candle. Once we have those two, then it's going to be pretty smooth, looking for the follow-up. So, but the session flew by, guys. It's 7:30 already. Usually we're kind of like bored until 7:30, but the high volatility today was actually really beneficial for us, I think. And we have news in 2 minutes. This gas stock. Thanks, Andreas, for the heads up. We got gas stocks coming up right here in 2 minutes at 7:30. It's low impact news, so I don't think it's going to affect the market too much. And we can't really trade based off that news. Looking over here for tomorrow, we have medium impact news at 7 o'clock and high impact news. So this is going to be a little tricky, because like I said, I don't like having multiple news events at the same time, but these two would have to be either both positive or both negative for us to kind of run the strategy that we've been doing today. We have another news event over here at 6:45. It's S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, which is high impact. We'll see if we can maybe catch something off this too. But the news event after it's going to be at 7 o'clock. So we have 15 minutes between this news event and the next news event for us to take entry. So right here at 6:45, they're forecasting it to be negative. And then here at 7 o'clock, they're forecasting it, 7 o'clock, they're forecasting it to be negative as well. And ISM manufacturing PMI forecasting it to be negative. So tomorrow, all the news events are forecasted to be negative. So we can probably look for a sell for the news tomorrow. Basically a V1 pattern to the sell side. And I mean, we'll see when that comes up. But today's profits were pretty good. So here are my profits for the, actually, let me post it up real quick. My profits for the day so far. I got to change my lot size for my funded engineer. It's like super off. So for my funded engineer over here, I've locked in I've locked in 5450. My first FTMO locked in 1,260. My second FTMO locked in 3,520. My third FTMO locked in 2,520. My second funded engineer locked in 51. My personal account, I locked in 405. My TFF 1,028. Second TFF 1,028. And my hedge account 1,028. So pretty good profits for the day so far. There's two entries that we ran through there using the new strategy over here. I think it's a good addition to us because we already have like the momentum pullback scalp and volatility is high enough. And then we have the high-low scalps. And on top of that, we'll add the new strategy, which for my testing, it's been pretty good. What was I going to do? Sorry, guys, I lost my train of thought. Okay, I was going to review I don't even think I remember marking up news over here in this chart. So I was looking for that. The sell signal never came up. The high-low scalp V2 is pushing up super heavy. I guess the news was positive. Yeah, super positive. So the news was super positive, and you can see over here, price actually had a pretty good reaction to the news. So this is the high-low scalp V2. It's still running in profit. It's been running for a long time now, but it is running in profit, and it looks like it's going to hit its full TP. Full TP right there. So if you guys took the high-low scalp V2, congrats to you guys. Full TP on that trade. I didn't take the trade, so it's not going to count. The only trades that count are the ones that I take myself personally. So I haven't taken any trades yet regarding the high-low scalp V2. I just thought it was in a risky area because of news and whatnot. But if you guys took it, solid work right there. Yeah, exactly. Rashida said we just need that sell signal. If that sell signal came up, it would have been perfect, right? Because we would have had the sell signal right here. You guys can see the pattern already, what would have played out. If we had the sell signal right here that was pending, and then we got a buy signal right here, like right below it, and then it followed up with a green candle, this would have been a perfect entry for us to hop in and just ride that up. But the sell signal never came, so that's going against my trading rules, so I wouldn't have taken it. But if we did have that, it would have been pretty nice because it would have played out perfectly. But yeah, here's the high-low scalp V2. I'm hoping the market stays like this because I'm okay with it ranging as long as we have like that big bullish push or bearish push, in the beginning or even at the end. Because you can see over here, we had this big bullish push right here, right? This is where we caught our first entry, and then price kind of went sideways over here for a bit, which we didn't want, and then eventually it has this continuation right here. So we'll see. Hopefully the market continues to do this tomorrow and we can wrap up this week pretty strong. I pretty much recouped my losses from yesterday. So if you guys remember my trades from yesterday, I was at like negative 1,000, negative 4,000. Today I pretty much made it all back. So I'm back in profit for the week. Well, I was already in profit for the week, but yesterday's loss kind of set me back a little bit, and now I'm back in profit. So I think that's pretty solid. I like how these entries over here also have they have a the risk reward is actually pretty good. So super beneficial for us for sure. All right, so it's 7:34 right now. We'll see if there's any other entries here that can come up. I'm not going to count this entry, so it's not going to go on the official trades because I didn't take it. The only trades that go on the official trades are the ones that I take personally. But there is another win right there. Let's see. Akash said retail traders are getting trapped. Yeah, they are. They're getting thrashed today for sure. So the retail sentiment is super heavy. There's a lot of retail traders that are still on the sell side, which kind of blows my mind. People are just stubborn, right? And I'm sure you guys have been in this position before where you guys take a sell, you get stopped out, and you just keep entering sells because you think price is going to finally come in your direction. This is why it's kind of good that you guys are here on this live session, so you guys aren't getting suckered into those sells like a lot of other retail traders. There was another high-low scalp that came up right here. Unfortunately, I missed it, but it's okay. I think price was overextended, so I wouldn't have taken it myself personally. But there was a high-low scalp right there. There's a higher high. This is kind of what we were looking for. And this is what I mentioned earlier. I said this would be a good entry for a high low. And this here would be a good entry for a high low V2. And that's exactly what played out. The V2 came up right here, full TP. And the regular high low came up right here, full TP as well. So all the entries are pretty much hitting today. I don't think anything's lost for today's session. So if you guys took any of the entries or any of the strategies that we identified, they all pretty much hit. If you guys took a pivot scalp right here hit as well, went straight up. Rika said, so are you looking on this website right here, Rika, or are you looking on the IG sentiment website? Because if you're looking on the IG sentiment website, I think it's glitched. So if you go to, let's see, US30 IG sentiment, you're probably looking right here on the IG website, right? Yeah, so this is what you're looking at. That's why it says 57. I don't go on this website because we've noticed this like last year that this would happen a lot. It shows like 57% long. For whatever reason, it gets glitched. If you refresh it a couple of times, it'll correct. Now it's 80% short. So I wouldn't use this website right here. Where you go. Make sure you use the actual daily FX website. It's the same data, but for whatever reason, the IG website is kind of glitched. So it kind of gives you, it gives you that wrong number sometimes. So yeah, it's currently 81. That's why when you mentioned earlier that retail is long, I was like, what are you talking about? There's no way it'll shift that. It'll shift like that. Let's see, Rashida said you can't find the NQ data. Here, let me see. Tools. The NQ data is, I think they took it off. It used to be on here. So Germany, this is the DAX. This is the UK 100. Yeah, it looks like they took it off. I mean, it used to be on here, but it's not on here anymore. So for some reason, they don't have it on here. It used to say NAS 100. Yeah, it's weird that they don't have it on here. Yeah, Alan said new month tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. New month tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be December 1st. First of the month is usually kind of tricky, guys. So just remember that. It's tricky because a lot of new orders and contracts are, starting up. So expect some tricky market movement. Plus, it's Friday. All right, so we got a sell signal right here. I mean, you might be able to see a breakout continuation. I probably wouldn't take any sells here, but if you are looking for a sell, you need a following red candle right here. Let me see if there's anything else here for me to look at. So let me just update the spreadsheet real quick. with the entries that I took so that you guys can review this later if you guys want to. So I took 2 entries today. Take this one, 7 o'clock. And I took this one at 7:20. So 11:30:23, 11:30:23. This is at 7 o'clock. This is at 7:20. I think they're both buys, both wins, 300, 300. I think for now we'll just call it news. Or we'll just call it news entry. I think that's probably easier. We'll call it a news correction. That's really what it is, because we're trading off news and the correction. We'll just call it news correction. I think that's the easiest way to remember it. So again, I'll just review the entry that we took for that. Let me just pull up where's the screenshot at? Okay, so I'm just going to call it the news correction, because that's pretty much what we're looking for. If you guys remember from this morning, we had positive news, price pulled down, we had a V1 variation, and then it corrected back to the upside. So that's literally what it is. It's a news correction. And then again, right here, same thing. We had a bullish news event, price came down, you had a V1 variation right there. Obviously, it kind of disappeared because of the new low was established. There's basically a V1 pattern there, and it shot up for a correction. So, and it looks like we just missed a V1. Sorry, guys. I was not looking at the chart, but it looks like it happened super quickly. Yeah, Kevin said it happened super quick. Daniel said it happened so fast. Yeah, the V1 happened. I think it would be too tricky to see this anyways, guys, because there was a V1 pattern right here. But the problem with this here is that the candle here was so small. So I think it happened too quickly. I don't think anybody would be able to really identify that. It just happened too fast. So it's all good if you guys didn't get it. I don't think anybody got it, honestly. It just happened too quickly. I can tell it happened quick because the candle here was so small. Whenever you see a small candle like that, it's kind of tricky because this candle was probably red, and at the last second it shot up to green. And Andrea said he couldn't even notice it. Yeah, happened too quickly. So it's all good. All right. So if there's let me see how far I came down from here. So if there's a buy signal that comes up, followed by a green candle, it'll probably continue up in that direction. ATR is currently 14 right now, so it's kind of slow. You guys can see the market volatility is starting to die down a bit. It's now at 13.7. Yeah, this new ATR down below is it's super intuitive because it helps you really see where the ATR is going. So it's not just like 13 or it's not just 14. You can see like 13.9, and you can see it's starting to climb up higher. You see it goes to like 14.2, and it goes higher towards 15. If you see something like that, you can see that there's volume in the market. And like right now, it's going up to 14.2. It's like 13.9, 14, 14.2. And as it goes higher and higher, you can see that volatility starting to pick up. And you can maybe chase this for an extended push. But yeah, right now, guys, at 7:42, I don't really see much happening from now until 8 o'clock. So I think what I'll do here is I'll start marking up. Okay, so there's an invalid buy signal right here. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to start taking individual screenshots of my profits. If you guys have anything that you guys want to ask me, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, it looks like we'll be wrapping this up pretty soon as it gets closer to 8 o'clock. So I'm just going to take screenshots of my profits here. Nice, Vince. I just saw your text message. Yeah, Vince said, last time I talked to you about trading, I was at negative 6.5. He's now at negative 2.5, sticking to the V1s and the high-low scalps. Yeah, you just got to stay consistent, bro. So like Vince just messaged me right now that, he was negative 6.5. He was like losing his confidence with his trades. And now he's back to negative 0.2. So he's climbing his way back up. So guys, whenever you guys go through you guys go into a downward spiral, you just have to step away for a bit sometimes, right? You step away for a bit, you get your mind back into motion where it's supposed to be, and then eventually you'll make your way back up. It's just a matter of consistency and being able to roll with the blows, because the blows are going to happen. It just depends on how you handle those losses. So, all right, guys, we have, if this candle here closes green, it's probably going to push up a bit, maybe at least like 100 pips or so. If you guys are looking to take it, again, you don't need to take it, but just a heads up if anybody is looking to take this here. I'm just going to continue taking my screenshots of my profits, and we'll see where this ends up going from here. All right, so where is my other? The volatility is kind of low though, it's at 14.6. Funded engineer. This is my personal account. Wait, what did even happen? Oh, just didn't update. TFF. All right, so I think that's about it. Let me see if there's anything else here. Okay, so here are my individual profits for the day. I think I'm missing something here. Oh, my other personal account. Let's see where it's at. Okay. So here goes my profits for the day so far, guys. And we're pretty much gonna wrap this up because I don't think there's anything else for me to take here. Obviously, price is kind of just going back and forth. ATR is kind of between 14 and 15, but it's pretty flat. So here goes my individual profits for the day. So here's my first account locked in 54.50. This is my funded engineer account. I finally got it fixed. I need to change my lot size. I think the lot size is kind of screwed up. Now it's up with my mouse. Mouse has been kind of laggy. Anyways, here is my funded engineer. This is my funded engineer 1. Here's my FTMO locked at 1,260. Here is my second FTMO locked in 3,520. Here's my third FTMO locked in at 2,520. Here is my second funded engineer account locked in 51. Here's my personal account. I locked in 405, and that's pretty much it. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we have some more profits here from the team. So we got Madhu over here, total profit of 1,813 for the day. Nice work, Madhu. We've got Delicia, total profit of 404 for the day, all wins. And we got Brock over here, nice recovery. Brock clawed his way back into profit, total profit of 140 for the day. Nice work, Brock. Great recovery off that loss from earlier today. We have Felix over here, total profit of about 3,000 for the day, all wins. Nice work with the recovery here too, Felix. I know you had a small red day yesterday. You made it right back. Here's Eunice locked in a total profit of 2019 for the day. Nice work, Eunice. And we got David over here, his first loss of the month, lost 62. Not too bad. We've got Delicia here, some more profits, total profit of 580 for the day. All wins there. And Alicia decided to do another account, total profit of 1,097 on this one. Nice work, Alicia. And then lastly, we have Felix here with one more win, total profit of 3,786, all wins for the day. Nice work, Felix. All right, guys, so I think that's about it. If you guys have any more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, I think this might be about it. I don't see any other questions here in the chat. And yeah, I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. I don't really see much going on here. Let me see how much price is moving. I mean, it's still pretty volatile, but it's kind of going back and forth. So you can see the volatility down here. It was like at 14 earlier. It's now at 15 going on 16. So it's still pretty high, but it's not super high. It's just it's a lot of spiky volatility here. So you can see it's bouncing between 14 and 15. It's not really a good area to, for the most part, get caught in a trade, because you might get these random spikes up and random spikes down. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. It's 7:50 right now. We have about 10 minutes till 8. Not really expecting anything else to come up from now until then. So if anything, guys, just wrap it up for the day. Come back tomorrow fresh. We'll try to apply that news strategy again, the news correction strategy, tomorrow morning at 6:45 and at 7. It's pretty much the two news events that happen tomorrow. But yeah, other than that, I think that's about it. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day. If you guys have any questions,